Remember when Donald Trump was the alpha male? The He-Man? Super Trump! High energy, high virility, never doesn't have an erection? Well, how does that match up? How does that jibe with Trump saying debates will be unfair to him, and now he's demanding that there be no moderator, or he's going to take his bow and go home? Susan Wright didn't know where to start with this yesterday at Red State, but I can give her a suggestion. Why can't Trump put on his big boy pants? Why can't he man up? Since when did he become a beta male, a whiny, puerile, childish, victimhood monger? I mean, Donald Trump, this is another manifestation of his inherent leftism, ladies and gentlemen. This has already been the most bizarre and nonsensical election season I've ever seen, but it continues to hit new heights of absurdity thanks to his royal orangeness. Donald Trump is in full whine mode and is suggesting that the upcoming debates be conducted without well, he's not suggesting, he's demanding that they be conducted without moderators. Now, I guess maybe his rationalization is, well, they already took away my lectern, so we both got to be sitting on the same level. I'm going to get something out of this. I don't want any moderators. Because, of course, that might keep him on topic, on track. Yeah, God, he's going to try to bait Hillary into having a stroke on camera. You know that's what he's going to do, right? He said a debate with a moderator could be rigged, he says. Rigged means when he says something's rigged, he's saying it's supposed to be rigged in his favor, not against him. Of course, his definition of rigged against him is impartiality. No, he said a debate with a moderator could be rigged and would be unfair. This is from the quotes from thehill.com. I think maybe we should have no moderator. Let Hillary and I sit there and just debate, because I think the system is being rigged, so it's going to be a very unfair debate, Trump said on CNBC's Squawk Box. I think we should have a debate with no moderator, just Hillary and I sitting there talking. There again is that Trump repetition, like either he didn't remember what he just said mere seconds earlier, or he doesn't think that his audience is hearing him, so he has to keep repeating himself, or he just loves the sound of his own voice. Probably all three. Anyway, that's the end of that quote. You mean like old times? I mean, how exactly is that supposed to work? What will they talk about? The grandkids? The diverticulitis acting up again? No, Don. Debates are to highlight what you know to the voters. And, of course, Trump doesn't know. He doesn't know crap. They're not for you and your friend to just chat for a live audience. Trump's been talking about unfair since he entered the race 15 months ago. Well, in a sense, he's not wrong. I mean, the system is unfair because it's just that it's been unfair in Trump's favor. And he didn't have any complaints about that. I mean, every other candidate in the GOP primaries had to pay for ad and media time. They didn't have $2 billion in free airtime with any combination of networks where all you had to do was just call in. You didn't even have to be present. Just call in on the phone. And they certainly didn't have a supposed news organization, Fox News, acting as their personal campaign headquarters, complete with obedient gimps. Now, Trump mentioned the NBC Commander-in-Chief Forum, which was hosted by Matt Lauer, and Lauer got criticized more for zeroing in on email-gate with Mrs. Clinton than anything he said about Trump. Lauer's performance was seen as less than challenging, and across social media, as well as with the Clinton campaign, he was seen as being too easy on Trump. The system is being gamed, Trump declared Monday. They all said I won and that Matt Lauer was easy on me. Well, he wasn't. I thought he was very professional. I have to be honest. I think he's being treated very unfairly. What they're doing is they're gaming the system so that when I go into the debate, I'm going to be treated very, very unfairly by the moderators. Good Lord. I mean, picture Donald Trump. In any other setting, he would be the Democrat candidate. And picture what conservatives would be saying about what Trump is saying here. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, unfair, unfair. Oh, I'm not being treated fair. The system's being gamed against me. The system's being rigged against me. Wah, wah, wah. Come on, Trumplicans. You know very well, if you recognize Donald Trump for what he really is, and if he were running honestly, meaning as a Democrat, you'd be having a field day with this. You'd be doubled over in derisive laughter. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. Why don't you get your candidate, like I say, put on his big boy pants and man up? I mean, here's an analogy for you. 2 days ago, CenturyLink Field, Russell Wilson sprains his ankle. Ndamukong Suh inadvertently steps on his ankle, bends it at a 90-degree angle. You know what Russell Wilson said? Did Russell Wilson go to the sidelines in tears and say, "Oh, it's not fair. Ndamukong Suh tried to injure me"? He didn't act like a victim. You know what he did on the sideline? First of all, he taped up, he had the ankles taped up, came right back into the game. But do you know what Russell Wilson said to head coach Pete Carroll on the sideline? I love this because it's another challenge for me to overcome. Everybody loves Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's face is all over everything. Endorsements. I mean, just all over the media. And you know why? Because he's a good person. Because he's a man. Because he doesn't whine and bitch and moan and complain about obstacles and adversity. Because he looks at it as a challenge to overcome, not something to bitch about. I know Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a friend of mine. And Donald Trump, you are no Russell Wilson. What they're doing is they're gaming the system so that when I go into the debate, I'm going to be treated very, very unfairly by the moderators. Trump argued that the perception that Lauer was soft on Trump was being promoted by the next Clinton-Trump moderator will try to be. I can't believe these. Here's another Trumpism. Very hard on Trump. Oh, man, it's like Rajesh Kuthrapali, some of the things he says. And do you hear yourself? Oh, man. Now, let's be honest. We've seen how Trump debates. He's either going to stall and BS his way through any questions, and, of course, try to bait Hillary into having a stroke on live television. Or he's going to complain for the entire time, then declare himself the winner based on Drudge Report online polling that's flooded by his cultists before the debate is even over. Trump on yesterday, likened what he said he sees happening with the debates to how famed Indiana college basketball coach Bobby Knight, of course a Trump backer, used to handle referees. Bobby would do numbers on the referee, and toward the end of the game, they would just sort of subconsciously give him the call. They're doing the same thing now, Trump said. Of course, you do realize that presidential debates aren't about, they aren't technical debates. They're just campaign appearances where both candidates, well, usually both candidates, try to avoid saying something stupid. You know, the examples are legion. I mean, Al Gore walking over to the stage to try to loom over George W. Bush and intimidate him, or John Kerry's global permission slip gaffe, and on the other side of that coin, Ronald Reagan saying, "I will not hold against my opponent or use for political advantage my opponent's youth and inexperience." Or 4 years earlier in the one debate with Jimmy Carter, when President Reagan said, "Well, there you go again." I mean, if you can get a memorable zinger in there, that's what people remember. Just like when the candidate says something stupid, a gaffe. Now, usually, both candidates try to avoid saying something stupid, but that's Donald Trump's stock in trade. And I'm telling you, Donald Trump is concerned that Hillary's illness gambit, is going to be used against him to generate public sympathy for her, and it'll work. And I think he recognizes that, and I think that I doubt that he has enough self-knowledge to realize that every time he goes out in public, he says stupid-ass things. But it's almost like he subconsciously, at some dim level, realizes, oh, every time I go out in public, I say stupid-ass things. This is not going to be good in this setting. So he's trying to create a reason, an excuse for ducking the debates. That's what it looks and sounds like to me. Anyway, the first debate is scheduled for September 26th, 2 weeks from yesterday. 2 weeks away, and plenty of time for Trump to work up some faux outrage over a perceived slight and to back out, giving his pal Hillary a forum to hack, cough, fake laugh, and work through all her talking points, all her propaganda, to an adoring and captive audience, presuming, of course, that she's sitting down, and oh, who knows? Maybe she could get sick enough to where she'd even fall out of her chair. I don't